Hi, coming to you from Homeowner.com. So today, what I'm hoping to do is to change out the garage spring. As you can see, a lot of garages have two springs. Mine only has one. It is on the right-hand side. So if yours is on the right-hand side, you want a left wound spring, and if yours is on the left-hand side, you want a right wound spring. So the other day I was sitting on the porch and I heard this loud crash, and I thought for sure a tree had fallen on a vehicle or something, and I looked everywhere and I couldn't find anything, and just so happened I came in the garage and looked up and my spring had broken. So, you know, you can call professional in and they'll probably charge you around $180 to $200 to go ahead and replace the spring. At Homeowner.com, we are going to replace it for the price of the spring. So the spring I found was on Amazon and it was $40, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can replace it. So first things first, let me show you the tools I got. So as you can see, we got the spring itself. We have a bushing for the spring, which will fit into the side here. These are the rods to create the tension with the spring itself. Some wrenches, you'll want to check up and see which wrenches you're going to need. And I went ahead and I also have a clamp to kind of keep the garage door down as we add tension to the spring. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you'll probably need is a marker. I like to have a marker just to mark things before I even start, mostly for things that are going to stay that I'm going to reuse. I want to make sure I know exactly where they're going to be at. So I'm going to grab this chart here, and we're going to reuse this. So I'm going to mark it where it's located on the rod and also where it's positioned. So a horizontal and a vertical line on both of these pulleys. Now some of the rod, the garage door rod with the spring here, has an open, so you may want to use some vice grips if it's open, because once we release it, it could just drop. This one is not, so I'm not going to worry about that. But what I will do is go ahead and clamp. I'm going to go ahead and take the clamp here, and I'm going to clamp it down so as we add tension, the garage door doesn't lift on me. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the pulleys and the spring screws right now. First I'm going to go ahead and take off the spring screws. And put them to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the springs there, and then I'm going to loosen up the two pulleys on either end. You want to go ahead and pull your cables out and get them right. Make sure your spring sits in there loose. Okay, everything's pretty well loose right now, so I'm going to pull this pulley down a little bit, and then that way that'll free up that side and bring it down this way to pull off the pulley and the spring eventually. So the pulley's off. One part of the broken spring. and the second part of the broken spring. So now I have the new spring and I sized them up. They're the same size, and I have the bushing, which I'm going to put in there. But first, go ahead and bring the bushing down. And then I can go ahead and bring the spring on through. Pull it back and put the pulley back on for now, just loosely. Get it all lined back up. So far we're looking pretty good. So now I'm going to pull this over and try to line the pulleys up to their original locations using the markers that I marked on earlier. I think we're pretty well set now. So now, of course, you want to make sure the pulleys are aligned, and go ahead and tighten up the pulleys so they're firmly on the rod itself. Keeping your marks in place, making sure your marks stay where they need to be. I think we're good there. Now we'll go ahead and bolt in the spring itself. Grab the tools for that. The nuts. Now the spring should look like it's just coming over. So if this is a garage door rod, to make sure you have the right spring, you want to make sure it's curling up and over and coming down. If it's coming under and up, you have the wrong spring. So make sure you look, and mine is coming up and over, so I know I have the right spring. Then at this point, we just go ahead and tighten it up and make sure it's solid against that. So once you go ahead and tighten up the nuts going to your spring, make sure you have them good and tight. Then what I would do is go ahead and make sure that your wires, make sure your wires are pretty well into the pulleys themselves. And it may help to grab another vice grip or something and make sure you get them placed in properly and lock them down so they can't spin out anymore. Once you feel comfortable with that on both sides, go ahead and vice grip that down and tighten. Then we can begin to create tension on the spring itself. So with the cables in place, again, you want to make sure this is disengaged, it's not connected to the garage door at this time. we can go ahead and start cranking it. There's a table depending on the size of your door, on how many turns and the length of your spring. The approximate value is, 28 to 32, I think, is the usual amount. If you don't have a line marked on your spring, you want to go ahead and mark a line before you start cranking, because it's usually about 7.5 turns. I'm going to go ahead and start to crank. There's a line, but it's on the back side of it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to crank it, and we'll go from there. At this point, you should probably have safety goggles on or glasses. At this point, you should probably have some type of coverage, because when you start getting up there in the cranks, it's pretty, the tension's pretty incredible, and if one of these bars slides out, it's going to hurt. So go ahead and start cranking it. And each crank is like 1/4 of a turn. So there's one, and you can see my line starting to show. 2, 3. So right now I'm at 7 turns, and that's at 28. And I'm going to go ahead and loosen the pulleys in. That's probably a better idea, and retighten them up. We're at 28 and it's stuck. I'm going to crank it one more time. And we're going to leave it right there. I'm going to get our guidelines on, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten down those screws. Now we can go ahead, take out the bar, and see if we are good to go. We've got tension. Everything seems good. We'll go ahead and take out the clamp and see if we're in business. Now it actually should lift a little bit because of the winding. And they say you should be able to lift it and it hold. As you can see, mine is not quite holding yet. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple more cranks till I get to that part where when you lift it up, it's stable. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in and loosen the spring a little bit and give it a couple more cranks to see if it'll hold. But I would say we're almost there. And now we're pretty much at 30 cranks, and that's the average, I believe. So now we'll go ahead and crank it back down, making sure it's super tight. Make sure that your drawstring's on. Now, after giving it a few more cranks, it seems to be in place and it holds when you lift it up and put it down. So now I'm engaging the garage door, and we'll go ahead and give it a test drive. Looks like all is good. I hope this video helps you out a little bit. Again, I want to thank you for watching tophomeowner.com, and have a good night. Thank you.